So welcome back to part 2. Ran out of space on the phone, so just got it in time, which is great. So we were about to take ourselves down onto the mat. So for anybody that's followed the first video, you're coming into the second video. For anyone that wants to be sneaky and not do the work and just do the relaxation, you're coming to the second video. But I do recommend doing the hard work first because you will get a nice deeper relaxation. So from here we're going to come on to the backs just for a moment. And we're going to root into the legs so the feet are hip distance apart. And it's really nice after that vinyasa flow just to let the body settle. So just for a moment as we enter the body into stillness, the effects of that flow, that practice. So we feel the spanda, the heart, the pulse, the aliveness in the body, and the fluids are still moving in the body as an effect of the practice. So we're going to keep this right leg rooted to the mat. We're taking the left leg up and we're coming into this figure of 4 shape. So this nice supine pigeon pose. We're pressing the ankle into the knee and we're flexing the foot. So we're allowing the toes to flex towards the shins and then we're allowing the knee to open. So this nice figure of 4 shape here. So we might like to take this left hand and we're finding the fleshy parts, so not pressing on the knee joint, finding the fleshy part of the thigh, and we're just encouraging that opening there on that left hip. So from here, we'll take the arms into cactus arms, so we just allow the shoulders to stay rooted to the earth, so that we allow the movement and the openness to happen in the hips. So we're going to see about hugging that right knee into the chest. And just enjoying that stretch there on the left hip. So then having a little play here to see what it's like. And just see what happens to the body when we begin to stretch up that right leg to the ceiling. So for me, when I do this, the stretch moves from the hip, so I'm not feeling the stretch as much on the hip now, and I'm feeling the stretch into that right hamstring. So depending on what you need today, is it your hamstring or is it your hip? For me, it's my hip. So I'm going to bend the knee and then open the hip again. And now the stretch has come back to this left hip where I want it. Exhale, lower that right leg to the earth. Uncross the left. We'll spread feet as wide as the mat. Take one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. And just allow the body to reset. And as we're ready, I'm going to take that stretch, that supine pigeon pose, Kapotanasana, on the opposite side. So again, feeling the full connection of the spine with the floor. This time we're keeping the left leg rooted in and we're taking this right leg up. So finding our supine pigeon pose. We're pressing the heel in, not to the knee joint, but to the fleshy part above the knee. Toes are curled back to the shin. So allowing natural gravity to start opening that right hip this time. So we're allowing that knee just to naturally descend, so there's no pulling, tugging. And then maybe giving a little encouragement with that right hand. So this arm, the right elbow begins to straighten. And we're just giving an encouragement here of this opening of the right hip. So this feels really good for me on this side, as I have a little bit of a right hip thing going on. So really good for the sciatic nerve here. Lovely stretch here for the lower back. And then we take the hands into this cactus arm, so really feeling the shoulder blades rooted to the earth. And then we're hugging in the left knee. A lovely stretch here along the tensor fasciae latae, the IT band, the whole right side of that leg. And again, playing here to see what happens, yeah? So the knee is descending over nearly towards that right corner of your mat. So the hip opener here. So now see what changes when you begin to lift and extend through that left leg. So for me now, I'm still feeling a little here on the hip, and I'm feeling the stretch along that left hamstring. Relax the neck, relax the shoulders, no tension in the upper body. Bending down that left leg. And again, uncrossing right. Take heel to the edge of the mat. One hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. So we're going to come up off the backs for a moment. We will come back down. So you're going to walk the elbows back and we're bringing ourselves up. So we're going to take the feet together in Baddha Konasana or in Yin pose. This is called butterfly pose. So the options here. So if we want the stretch into the hamstrings, we take the feet further away from the groin, so towards the top of the mat. If we want the stretch more on the adductors, the inside of the legs, we take the legs closer to the groin. So if we want someplace in between, or we want the hamstrings, we have the legs further away from the groin. So from here, we're going to roll into our butterfly pose. So we tuck the chin in. We're actually rounding the upper back here, like our cat pose. So we're threading the hands in under the legs. Now, I like to keep my palms up because if the hands are down, there's the tendency to pull and push forwards. This is a yielding pose, a yin pose, a surrender. So we wrap the hands in under, Hasta Bandha, hands are open, Hasta Mudra. And then we allow the chin to tuck into the chest. So lovely, lovely stretch for the back body. So lovely stretch to the muscles in the lower spine, all the muscles and tendons and ligaments that attach the pelvis to the femur, the spine. Allowing yourself to surrender, no striving, no pushing. So the frontal brain is allowed to relax. The prefrontal cortex. And then we add a little visual here. So imagine your attention, your awareness is traveling into the brain. And you're imagining that brain as a still lake. No thoughts, no worries, no actions, no analysing. A nice, calm, still lake. So of course, in the yin pose, we could stay anything from 6 to 8 to 10 minutes here. So pause on the video if you like, and hold in this pose for a little longer. So as you're ready, we take ourselves out of the pose really, really slowly. Begin to glide the hands back first. Chin stays tucked into the chest. The lower spine begins to straighten. And then we curl the chin up. We keep the legs exactly as they are. And we're going to just come down onto the back. Keeping the legs in this Baddha Konasana or this butterfly pose. We interlace the fingers in between the elbows. And then let's bring a side body stretch into it. So the options here, the hands might rest nice and gently on the third eye. Or we might like to lengthen back and allow the elbows to rest on the earth behind. And the breath here, we breathe deep into the navel center. Nice, deep, long, slow inhales and exhales. And then from here, we release the cross in the arms. We're taking the hands down along the side body, palms face down, and the knees point up to the ceiling. So the feet hip distance apart. So we're going to try this. I don't know how I am for room here. That's a bit better. So the feet are hip distance apart, and we're going to do this snow angel arms with our bridge pose. So bridge pose, Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. We press into the feet as the hips and pelvis begin to lift. We star angel the arms around. And then exhale, coming down slowly. Doing this twice more, really just getting a sense and a feeling of the lift in the pelvis, a nice little supported inversion. Last time. So from here, we're going to take those hands back into cactus arms. So really allowing the back of the heart to rest on the mat. So adjusting the shoulders till you feel the back of that heart between the two shoulder blades relax onto the earth. And then we're allowing both knees to fall off to the right. So we be mindful of this left shoulder, that the left shoulder doesn't lift. We keep the left shoulder heavy, and then we turn the head to the left. Just enjoying that supine twist. Then we move ever so slowly, coming out of the pose. Just allowing the feet to press onto the earth to protect the lower back, and just allowing the knees to fall off to the other side, so off to the left. Keeping that right shoulder rooted, and head turns to the right. Unwinding that twist nice and slowly. And we find our Shavasana, our final resting pose, so allowing legs to stretch out as wide as the mat. The palms come down along the side body, palms face skyward. Yeah. So I'm going to find my blanket here for an extra little bit of comfort. So the knees spread as wide as the mat, palms face skywards. We rotate the palms so that we allow the rib cage to rotate. Relax the heart at the back of the mat. Allow the heels to be heavy. that sacral bone, triangular bone at the base of the spine. Allow that to rest heavy, pelvis heavy. Backs of the shoulder blades, heavy. Back of the head, heavy. The back of the knees, light. The lower curve, the lower spine, light. The upper curve at the back of the neck, light. Find the breath in your body. Don't have to change it. Be with the breath exactly as it is. The wave of the breath. The pulse of the heart. In Sanskrit, it's known as spanda. This vibrating pulse of aliveness in the body. The beat of the heart. The movement of the lungs. Peristalsis of the intestine. This ever beating, pulsing body. So choosing to stay here as long as you like. Your whole body resting. Your whole body resting. And when you're ready to return from your Savasana, begin to bring the smallest, and I mean the smallest amount of movement to the fingers and the toes. Stretch back with the legs, stretch back with the arms, nice big stretch. And then carefully bend one knee at a time, just placing the sole of the feet back on the earth. Just maybe press into the feet for a moment, just a little lift of the lower spine and a little movement from left to right. Hugging in one knee at a time to the chest. Keep the shoulder blades rooted to the earth and just rock from left to right. And then rolling over completely, taking the feet back to the earth, press into the feet, lift the pelvis to allow yourself to roll completely over to the right hand side. Cradling the face with the right hand. So spreading the left hand onto the floor, pressing into left palm, right elbow, and slowly, slowly peel yourself up from the floor. Moving as slowly as you can, really trying not to disrupt the peace that you've created for yourself in your Savasana. So coming to a seated pose, just allowing the hips to resettle, aware of the heart over the hips and the head over the heart. We unite right and left palm at the heart center, thumbs tucked into the sternum bone. We take a deep inhale here together. Feel the lift in the heart, hold the breath. Exhale fully and completely. Twice more like this. Nice deep inhale. Lift the heart, lift the crown. Gently hold the breath. And as you exhale fully, drop the shoulders and the hips. Last time. Nice deep inhale. Slow, long exhale. And bow your head to your own heart, your own inner teacher, the best teacher there is.